Welcome to Voyage Daily Tech, the most important news personalized for you every day, supported by Voyage.com.
All right, let's get into it. We've got 5 major stories shaking up the tech world today. First up, we'll look at how a tech titan is planning a multi-billion-dollar comeback after revealing a massive what-if deal with OpenAI. Then, we'll shift to a low-cost ChatGPT rival that's now facing a global firestorm over its data security. After that, it's the high-stakes race for quantum computing and the growing fear of a Q-day that could break all encryption. Our fourth story looks at how smartphone maker Xiaomi just launched an SUV, triggering a frenzy and directly challenging Tesla in China. And we'll wrap up by investigating a controversial plan to meet AI's skyrocketing power demand by fast-tracking energy projects. The CEO of one of the world's biggest tech funds just revealed a massive what-if that could have changed the entire AI landscape. Before Microsoft became OpenAI's biggest backer, SoftBank's Masayoshi Son says he had a deal on the table. OpenAI's Sam Altman asked for a $10 billion investment, and Son said yes, but the deal ultimately went to Microsoft. Now, that original partnership is showing cracks. Reports claim Microsoft is holding up OpenAI's plan to restructure into a more conventional for-profit company. Seizing the moment, Son just went on the record suggesting Altman should have chosen SoftBank in the first place. But this isn't just about regret, it's about a comeback. Son has declared that SoftBank is now all in on OpenAI, with plans to pour a staggering $33.2 billion into the company, even while it remains unlisted and unprofitable. He believes OpenAI will eventually become the most valuable company in the world, and he's not waiting for an invitation to the party this time. However, if you zoom out, you'll see another layer of strategy at play here. This massive investment isn't just about chatbots. Son's stated mission is to create what he calls artificial superintelligence, or ASIAN AI he predicts will be 10,000 times smarter than any human. He plans to make SoftBank the central platform for this new era, using his key assets, the chip designer arm and his renewed partnership with OpenAI, to build it. With a rumoured $1 trillion AI industrial complex also in the works, the battle for the future of AI just got a dramatic new player. So the fight isn't just about partnerships anymore. It's about who will ultimately control the next frontier of intelligence itself. So while one AI partnership is aiming for the stratosphere with billions in funding, another company that promised to be the next big thing is finding itself grounded by governments worldwide. The company is DeepSeek, a Chinese AI startup that made huge waves with its low-cost model. But now, the dominoes are falling as governments around the world move to block it. Australia was first banning DeepSeek from all government devices, citing major security risks. Then Germany asked Apple and Google to pull the app from their stores over data safety concerns. India's finance ministry warned its employees to avoid it, and Taiwan banned its use across all government departments. So what's the big deal? It all comes down to one critical detail in the company's privacy policy. Your data, including your conversations and any files you upload, is stored on servers in China. This has set off alarm bells from Europe to Asia. Italy didn't just block the app, it launched an investigation, alleging DeepSeek fails to warn users that it can generate false information. South Korea suspended new downloads, and the Netherlands has urged its citizens to exercise caution while launching its own probe. The situation presents a fascinating duality. On one side, you have Western nations putting up walls, while on the other, Russia is rolling out the welcome mat. President Vladimir Putin has instructed Russia's biggest bank to collaborate with Chinese researchers on joint AI projects. This all leads to the United States, where the stakes get even higher. The US is reportedly weighing severe penalties that could block DeepSeek from buying American technology entirely. This move could not only bar Americans from its services, but potentially cripple the company's ability to operate on a global scale, putting the future of this one-time ChatGPT rival in serious doubt. Speaking of geopolitical tech tensions, the concerns over data security with DeepSeek are just one piece of a much larger, more frightening puzzle. There's another technological arms race heating up, one with the power to make today's encryption, obsolete. This is the promise and peril of quantum computing. Right now, the industry generates less than $750 million. But in a decade, that number is projected to explode to nearly $100 billion. Google, Microsoft, Amazon, and IBM are pouring millions into the race, with Google saying a breakout may be just 5 years away. Beneath all this promising research, though, a high-stakes conflict is brewing. The Pentagon warns that an adversary with a quantum computer could cause devastating damage to national security. Microsoft President Brad Smith put it more bluntly, framing it as a direct race against China, saying, "We cannot afford to rule out the possibility of a strategic surprise." The fear is that an adversary could unlock years of intercepted US military messages and financial data. For years, the biggest obstacle has been that quantum computers are wildly unstable. The core components, called qubits, could fail as often as once every 1,000 operations. But that's changing fast. Microsoft just announced it slashed that error rate by a factor of 1,000, a massive leap forward. Still, a truly useful quantum computer needs about 1 million stable qubits. Today's most advanced chips have around 200. The gap is enormous, but the pace is accelerating. And it leaves you with a chilling thought. Intelligence agencies are known to be collecting encrypted data right now, hoarding it for the day it can finally be broken. So many secrets are already out there, just waiting for Q-Day to arrive. From a race happening in secret labs to one playing out in public showrooms, another tech giant is being challenged in its most critical market. And this time, it's not about quantum bits, but electric cars. Imagine launching your second ever car and triggering an absolute frenzy, taking a staggering 240,000 locked-in orders in just the first 18 hours. Well, that's exactly what just happened. The company isn't a legacy automaker. It's the smartphone maker, Xiaomi, and it has just fired a direct shot at Tesla in the world's biggest car market. Xiaomi's new U7 SUV is entering the ring with a strategy that has Tesla on the ropes. First, the price. It's nearly 4% cheaper than Tesla's best-selling Model Y. Then, the specs. The U7 boasts a longer driving range, offering up to 835 kilometers compared to the Model Y's 719. What's really hitting Tesla hard, though, might be the software. Xiaomi is including its advanced driver assistance software for free. Tesla charges 64,000 yuan for its equivalent full self-driving feature. This isn't just a hypothetical threat. The impact is already being felt. In China, Tesla's market shares plummeted from a peak of 15% down to just 7.6%. Analysts are now openly speculating that Tesla may have no choice but to cut prices or offer more incentives just to keep up. The market is placing its bets. In response to the U7 launch, Xiaomi's stock surged to an all-time high, rising over 70% this year and becoming the best performing large cap stock in the Asia Pacific region. After all, this isn't just a new car launch, it's a strategic assault, a tech giant challenging an automotive pioneer on price, features, and in its most critical market. It's no longer a question of if Tesla has a real competitor in China, the fight has already arrived at its doorstep and everyone is watching to see how Tesla responds. You know, whether it's manufacturing hundreds of thousands of new cars or training the next generation of AI, all this progress demands one thing: a staggering amount of energy. And that brings us to our final story, which tackles a looming crisis. Let's start with a single statistic that might just change your entire perspective on this. The power demand from AI data centers is projected to grow more than 30-fold by 2035. That's not a typo. 30-fold. America's power grid is already strained, and this AI boom is driving the first major spike in US power demand in decades. Now, the Trump administration is preparing a series of executive orders to fuel this expansion, and the plan is an absolute bombshell. The core problem? It can take years for new power projects to get connected to the grid. The proposed solution is an idea to let certain fully developed power projects jump to the front of the line, leapfrogging others on the waiting list. This is where the situation takes a more complex turn. Finding space for massive data centers is another major hurdle. The administration's answer could be to offer up federal land for development, specifically land managed by the Department of Defense and the Department of the Interior. This isn't just about keeping the lights on for big tech. This is about a high-stakes technological arms race with China. The administration is framing this as a critical battle for economic and military advantage, pushing to remove any and all regulatory roadblocks. On his first day in office, Trump declared a national energy emergency to fast-track energy projects, and this is the next phase. It's all building towards July 23, which the White House is considering dubbing AI Action Day. That's when a new AI action plan is due, a report with a single audacious goal: to make America the world capital in artificial intelligence. The plan is ambitious, but it leaves a massive question mark over the real cost of winning that title.
That's it for today on Voyage Daily Tech. Follow, share, and stay tuned for daily updates coming your way tomorrow.